Hello everyone, welcome to Science Mentor. If you are preparing for DSSSB Junior Scientific Examination for any division, then this MCQ series is going to very helpful for you. So today we will discuss important MCQs from the introduction of forensic science, okay, which was covered in a lecture on this same channel, okay. So my advice is simple. Don't look at the answer immediately. Pause the video for few seconds, think about correct option and then compare it with explanation. Okay. This approach will strengthen your concept and improve your exam performance. Okay. So let's begin with our very first question, which is forensic science is the application of scientific knowledge to option 1 is agriculture, medicine, law and criminal investigation. D is astronomy. So the correct answer is law and criminal investigation. Okay. So here is the explanation, which is forensic science applies scientific method to investigate crimes, examine evidence, identify suspect, okay, identify suspect or victims, and present a reliable finding before court to support justice and fair legal decisions. Okay, so the expert examine evidence such as fingerprint, blood, DNA, hair, weapons, and document using scientific method, and their findings help identify offenders, established fact, and support court in delivering justice. So remember the simple formula, which is forensic science is equals to science plus law plus justice. Okay, let me write it. Forensic science, forensic science is equals to science plus law plus justice. Okay, so this is one of the most fundamental question in competitive exams. Now let's move to the second question, which is second question is the word forensic is derived from the Latin word. Option is forum, forensis, forensia, fortuna. So the correct answer is forensis. Okay. So let's move to the explanation. Okay. So the word Latin, it derived from the Latin word forensis, which means before the court or of the forum. It reflects the use of scientific evidence to assist court in resolving legal matters. Okay. So the word forensics is comes from the word Latin word forensis. ओके, इसका मतलब होता है कि बिफोर द कोर्ट और ऑफ द फोरम. सो जो एंशियंट रोम था उसमें फोरम जो है वो एक पब्लिक प्लेस होता है जहाँ पर लीगल केसेस और डिस्प्यूट्स को डिस्कस किया जाता था. सो today's forensic science refers to the use of scientific knowledge to investigate crime and present evidence in court. So the a quick memory code trick here is forensics equals to court. Okay, this is frequently asked 1 mark question, so make sure you remember it. Let's continue to the next question. Okay, MCQ 3, which is who is known as the father of toxicology. Okay, so the option is Edmund Locard, second is Francis Galton, third is Matthew Orfila, fourth is Carl Landsteiner. Okay, so the correct answer is Matthew Orfila. Okay, here is the explanation. So the explanation is Matthew Orfila established a system scientific method for poison detection and published pioneer working in toxicology, earning recognition as the father of modern toxicology. Okay, so his research transformed poisoning investigations from guesswork into scientist analysis and making toxicology an essential branch of forensic science. Okay, so here is quick revision of important scientists. Okay, so the Matthew Orfila is father of toxicology. Okay, and okay, so the Edmund Locard is exchange principle, which is Locard's exchange principle. Okay, exchange principle. उसके बाद कार्ल लैंडस्टीनर, which is ABO blood group system, इन्होंने दिया था ABO blood group system जो है, and the LS. Okay, so these names are commonly asked in competitive exams, so revise them regularly. And let's move to the next question. Question number 4. So the question 4 is, which of the following is not an objective of forensic science? Okay, which of the following is not an objective of forensic science? First is crime detection, second victim identification, third weather forecasting, fourth crime reconstruction. Okay, so the correct answer is D, weather forecasting. Okay, because forensic science focus on crime investigation, evidence analysis, victim identification, and crime reconstruction. Weather forecasting is unrelated to forensic investigation. Okay, weather forecasting is separate field under meteorology and has no direct role in forensic investigations. Okay, for exam, remember these five objectives. Okay, first is crime detection, victim identification, crime reconstruction, criminal identification, criminal identification, victim identification, crime reconstruction, and scientific support of codes. Okay, scientific support to code. If you remember these points, you will be able to answer many objective questions correctly. Okay, let's move to the fifth question. Okay, so the question 5 is, scientific evidence is generally considered first less reliable, second more reliable than eyewitness testimony, third useless, fourth illegal. So the answer is B, more reliable than eyewitness. Okay, so here is the explanation. So scientific evidence is an objective, verified and laboratory tested. Unlike eyewitness testimony, it leaves affected by memory error, bias and personal opinion, making it more dependable. Okay, so their scientific evidences are more reliable than eyewitness testimony. Okay, because it is a objective that can be independently verified. It is generally considered more reliable than eyewitness testimony, which may affected by memory error, stress, or personal bias. For this reason, court often gives significant importance to scientific evidence. Okay, there is another important concept for competitive examination. So make sure you understand the reason rather than simply memorizing the answer. Okay. So we have completed first five question. If you answer four or five correctly, you will be right back. If your score is low, don't worry. Focus on understanding the explanation because strong concepts are the key to success in competitive examination. Okay. Now let's move to the six. Which branch of forensic science deal with examination of poison, drugs, and toxic substance? Okay. Okay. First is serology, second anthropology, third toxicology, fourth ballistics. Okay, so the correct answer is toxicology. Okay, so forensic Toxicology is a branch of forensic science that study poisons, drugs, alcohol, and toxic chemical in biological samples. Okay, to determine poisoning, overdose, intoxication, and their role in criminal or accidental death. Okay, so experts examine samples such as blood, urine, saliva, and tissues to determine whether poisoning, drug overdose, or alcohol intoxication contribute to the crime. Intoxication contribute to crime, accident, and death. O- Toxicology report are often used as a important scientific evidence in court. सो एक और एग्जाम्पल यहाँ से हमें याद आता है कि टॉक्सिकोलॉजी सो हु इज द फादर ऑफ टॉक्सिकोलॉजी नेम मैथ्यू और फिला लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन MCQ number 7. Which of the following is an example of biological evidence? First is hair, first is blood, second hair, third saliva. So all three are the example of biological evidence. All of the above are example of biological evidence. Okay. So the explanation here is biological evidence include blood, hair, saliva, semen, tissue, and DNA. These material help identify the victim or suspect and establish a connection between individual and crime scene. Okay. So these samples are extremely valuable because they can provide DNA and help investigators identify suspect, victim, or establish a connection between a person and the crime scene. Okay. So remember, whenever you hear DNA, think of biological evidences. Okay. DNA equal to biological evidences. So move to the next question. MCQ number 8. So question is, what is the first step after reaching a crime scene? So the option A is arrest the suspect. B, secure the crime scene. Third, collect fingerprint. Fourth, record witness statements. So the correct option is B, secure the crime scene. Okay, secure the crime scene. So securing a crime scene prevent contamination, protect evidence from damage, and ensure only authorized personnel handle exhibits. Maintain the integrity of a investigation. Okay. So answer B is the correct option. Okay, this prevent unauthorized people from entering, protect evidence from contamination or damage, and ensure that every piece of evidence remain in its original condition until it properly documented or collected. Okay, so exam tip: no investigation should begin before the crime scene is secured. Okay, so here is the exam tip: no investigation begin before the crime scene is secured. This is the example. Let's move to the question number 9. Okay. The question number 9 is the documented history of evidence and collection to court is known as. Okay. The case diary, crime register, C chain of custody, D FIR. So the correct answer is chain of custody. Okay. So the chain of custody is the record which records every transfer, handling, and storage of evidence It provide evidence remain untampered and legally admissible in the court proceeding. Okay. So the chain of custody is an important topic. Okay. So the what is chain of custody? The chain of custody is a complete written record showing who collected the evidence and who handled it, where it is stored and when it transferred. Maintaining the record proves that the evidence has not been altered and tampered with, making it legally admissible in the court. Okay. So quick memory trick: evidence journey from crime scene to court. So what is chain of custody? Evidence journey from crime scene to court. Okay. So let's solve the last question of this section, which is MCQ number 10. So the question is, the ultimate aim of forensic science is to increase punishment, protect criminal, deliver justice through scientific evidence, reduce court proceeding. Okay. So the option C is the correct answer. Deliver justice through scientific evidence. Okay. The primary purpose of forensic science is to provide accurate, unbiased scientific evidence that help identify offender and protect innocent individuals and support fair judicial decisions. Okay. It is not only help identifying offender but also protect innocent individual from false accusations and ensure fair and impartial judicial decision. Okay. Always remember, the goal of forensic science is not to no, convict someone. It is to discover the truth through scientific evidences. Okay. Okay. So here we end this session. These are the session of 10 MCQs.